Hey, this is Ari, and in this video, I wanted to share with you a little clip from a recent podcast I did with Anne-Louise Gittleman on keys to radical longevity. She has a very, very unique take on things and some very interesting novel strategies that she's recommending for disease prevention and longevity. So check out the clip, and down below in the description is a link to the full-length podcast, which I also recommend checking out. Enjoy. So tell me the 7 rules. One of the things you talk about in this book is the 7 rules to radical longevity. Are those covered by some of the things you just mentioned, or what are those 7 rules?
Well, the first one is immunity is everything. And you and I both know we're just coming out of a pandemic, so immunity is absolutely everything. So you need the right vitamins, the right minerals, you need the right melatonin at night to kind of protect you against the EMFs and to protect your glutathione and your SOD. You also need a humidifier in the house so that your respiratory tract is protected, especially the nasal labia or the nasal cilia, so that you're not subject to dry air. So that would be number 1.
Oh, let's if you don't mind, that's something that I recently learned about. I listened to a whole podcast on that specific subject, and it's something that I really didn't know much about until recently. I would love for you to just talk a bit more in depth on the importance of humidity in the air as it relates to the immune function in the mucous membranes.
Well, this was a surprise to me. So there was a study that was done in 2019 at Harvard. So this is a very prestigious study, obviously, in some of the annals of our prestigious institutions. And they found out that the most important factor to protect against respiratory infections was not adequate vitamin D, although you and I know how important that is. It wasn't taking your flu shot, it wasn't washing your hands, it wasn't staying vaccinated. The most important aspect in protecting against respiratory infections was the use of a humidifier in the home, where you kept the humidity between 40 and 60%, because you need to keep those mucosal membranes well nourished and properly nourished and properly lubricated. That's the word I'm looking for, because dry air has a real way of getting into the system and can carry viruses more adeptly to the entire body. So this is so easy to implement in the house area. I think it's the number 1 thing that people would be happy to read about in radical longevity. It's important, it's cheap and expensive, and it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Okay, so sorry to interrupt your flow on the 7 rules, but I just wanted to quickly digress into that one because I think it's important and not enough people actually know about it. But yeah, carry on with the 7 rules.
So the 7 rules, so that would be number 1. The importance of vitamin D, which of course you and I know is a hormone. It's actually a prohormone. So it's vitamin D, the right kind of vitamin C. Zinc is the most important antiviral mineral, and quercetin, which is an important antioxidant. So I cover that, I cover the levels, I cover the kind of tests that you need to take to make sure that your blood levels are actually accurate, because taking a traditional test doesn't tell you what's optimally healthy. It just tells you the average of what the sick people are showing in the country. So I show you all that in the book. So I think that would be very important for number 1. Immunity is everything. And wouldn't you agree immunity is everything, and that's come to the forefront because of the pandemic?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got that as number 1. Number 2 is take on toxic overload. And that's a big one. We're surrounded by toxins. Somebody once told me we need 3 livers in this day and age, not just 1 liver, 3 livers.
Yeah.
So you've got your heavy metals, you've got your mold, you've got your bacteria, you've got your parasites, you've got your EMFs. And I take you through each of those and tell you what the protocols are, how to get rid of them, the kind of detoxifying baths like the salt and soda baths. There are even Clorox baths that you can take to get rid of heavy metals. There are vinegar baths that you can take so that you can get rid of your aches and pains in your muscles. There are all kinds of things you can do internally, topically, and in terms of bathing. So that would be probably number 2, and that's very important in terms of the use of fiber to kind of chelate all that out of you, to take the right kind of beans in your diet, because that provides a way in which the bile can get recycled healthfully because of the soluble fiber. A lot of tips and tricks that people have never read before I put in the book.
Did you say Clorox baths?
I did. I said
Okay.
Clorox Baths. Yes,
Okay.
shocker. This actually isn't in the book, but I thought I would just shock your listening audience and your viewing audience by talking about that. It was something that was taught to me by Dr. Parcells way back in 1974. She was the alternative dom of natural medicine. And I learned way back when to detoxify my food using kind of a homeopathic, I'd say it's a homeopathic prescription of a half a teaspoon of Clorox in a gallon of water, in which I put all my foods. I just separated them into the fruit, the vegetables, the meat, the eggs, and so forth. Leave it in the Clorox bath for 20 minutes, and you'd be surprised at what comes up from the surface of the foods. It gets rid of the pesticides, the herbicides, the mold, and the parasites. She also taught us, and we saw this time and time again, and I've used this with my clients over the past 40 years, believe it or not. I've been at this work 40 years, that if you take a half a cup of Clorox, put it in a bath water, if you've got all kinds of skin conditions that haven't seemed to be resolved any other way, it will actually get rid of them.
Wow. Okay. So Clorox Baths has two meanings then. One is you sitting in the bath, and the other one is bathing your fruits and vegetables in it.
Yes, because it has an oxygenating capacity.
Mhm. Got it. Okay, so that was number 2 or 3 of the 7
That's
rules?
number 2. And let's see, number 3. Number 3 is free up fascia. Fascia is the connective tissue in your body that connects us all as one little integrated unit. I think it's important to stretch on a daily basis, to do myofascial release, to make sure that you're not in the same sitting position on a daily basis, because the fascia can get frozen. You can get problems with your neck, your joints, your back, your shoulder, your hips, your knees. So that's the importance of fascia. I've been very fascinated by it, but I give you tips and tricks to get rid of the frozen fascia and to make sure it's not really arthritis, but it's actually a frozen fascia or adhesions that are so hard to maneuver because they're 2,000 pounds tensile strength. So we talk about the way in which you get rid of internal scars, adhesions, and the use of cupping, acupuncture, stretching, and particular myofascial release, which I think is so imperative in this day and time.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. What about number 4? I'll let you go
Now,
through the whole flow of the 7, and then I may come back to some questions on some of these.
number four is activate cellular rejuvenation. So you activate cellular rejuvenation by taking the right kind of supplements, redox signaling molecules, redox signaling supplements. Lithium is one of those. It's kind of a signaling molecule, very important for the brain. I talk about the importance of quercetin in that regard, vitamin C, which is a premier antioxidant, and of course the use of apple cider vinegar, which keeps you a little acidic, a tad acidic on the cellular level. And then are we on number 5?
Mm-hmm.
Is stop ages. Are you familiar with advanced glycation end products?
Yeah.
So I wasn't, not the way that I should have been before writing the book. So I came across a book by Dr. Helen Blissera on the ageless diet, and I learned that animal foods, like the ones we're all eating on the ketogenic diet, are very high innately in advanced glycation end products that are toxic waste products that are naturally formed when you age a particular food or naturally occurring in certain altered animal foods, fats, and proteins. So we talk about that in the book and how certain cooking methods really instigate the advanced glycation end products activation, which means that high and dry cooking is not really good, but you need to be cooking in a lot of water at low heat. So that's very important. So goodbye to grilling, broiling, frying, and air frying.
Got it. Okay. And what about number 6?
Number 6, I'm going to cheat by looking in the book if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I forget which order this is in. It's mind your minerals. So minerals can be your best friend, or they can be a double-edged sword. I talk about the copper dysregulation, iron dysregulation, the kind of tests that you need, how certain water supplies are loaded with divalent copper, which is not the healthy copper, how you have to go through your vitamins and minerals to get rid of excess iron and excess copper. Because of all the minerals that I was able to analyze in the book, these are the 2 that stockpile in your brain and can really affect the neurofibrillary tangles as well as the aggregation of beta amyloid plaque. So getting the right kind of iron, making sure that you test for it is important with the ferritin test. And the same thing with copper is very, very important, particularly for brain health, heart health, the health of your joints, and the health of your skin. So that is probably the biggest aha moment that I found, the difference between the copper, the divalent, the monocopper, and how you get them in different foods and what the best sources are for your vitamins and minerals.
Okay. And number 7?
optimize the gut-brain connection. We all know how important the gut is, but I'm not a believer in high doses of probiotics. I have learned that high dose of probiotics, more than 10 billion CFUs at any one time, can really put the system into overdrive, particularly the immune system. So we talk about the best sources of the prebiotics, the probiotics, and how you can make the neurotransmitters for the brain. So there's a gut-brain connection, most definitely.
Hey, this is Ari, and if you enjoyed this little clip, I highly recommend checking out the full-length podcast by clicking the link down below this video in the description. Check it out. You're going to learn a ton more valuable information. Also, as always, I want to mention at the Energy Blueprint, we offer a ton of solutions to help you increase your energy. And as a side effect, help you prevent disease, dramatically improve your brain function, your mood, combating anxiety and depression, increasing your resilience to stress, and increasing your longevity. All nice bonuses to strategies designed to massively increase your mitochondrial function and your energy levels. And we've got a whole suite of products, online info products that guide you on strategies to optimize your lifestyle and nutrition habits. We've got an Eat for Energy course. We've got a brain course. We've got an advanced fat loss strategies course. We've got a breathing for energy course, which I highly, highly recommend. People just absolutely rave about that one in particular. And we've got a whole suite of supplements, mitochondrial formula, a brain formula, energy essentials and superfoods, which is our comprehensive multivitamin and multimineral and superfoods formula, and much, much more, actually. We've got, as of this moment in time, depending on when you're watching this, but as of this moment I'm recording it, I've got an amazing new anti-aging longevity formula on the way and an incredible new sleep formula that will be coming out in the next few weeks. Thank you for watching this. Again, full length link to the full length podcast is down below, and check out theenergyblueprint.com for our whole suite of products that can help you dramatically transform your energy levels. Talk to you soon.